Sir, how are you?
Doing just fine, Sean. How are you?
Is my analysis right or wrong?
It's comprehensive. I think there's an awful lot in there I agree with, my friend.
You know, but the reality is, here's something that the reason I wanted to put that together is for all the hand-wringing that's going on out there, there's a reality that nobody wants to face, is that the conditions for an outsider to win, like Donald Trump, were created by weak, timid, feckless, visionless Republicans. And that's my argument. Am I wrong?
Well, no, you're not. This is the Trump success is a repudiation of the political class in the Beltway, and especially the Republican Party inside the Beltway, because it's failed. Take the three aces that Donald Trump has in the campaign. Immigration. Why didn't the Republican Party in power simply secure the border as some of us begged them to do instead of waiting for 12 million illegals to get into the country?
But you know the answer, Pat. The answer, what's the answer? Republicans wanted donations from big corporations that want cheap labor. Am I wrong or right?
You're not only right there, you're right on why we got these trade deals, why the Bushes and the others got together with Bill Clinton and enacted NAFTA. The trade deals benefit transnational corporations that like to move production abroad because it's cheaper there and then bring their products back to the United States free of charge. All of these trade deals were done for the benefit of these transnational corporations and to the disastrous effect on American workers who lost these jobs and have had no real increase in wages for years and years and years. I mean, we lost 6 million manufacturing jobs in the first decade of the 21st century. But there's something else there, Sean, that Trump was right on. He said, look, we got to stay out of these foreign wars where no vital interest of the United States of America is imperiled. We can't have our guys fighting and dying all over the world. There are thugs all over the place. But unlike what George W. Bush said, America's goal in the world is not to end tyranny on this earth, because we can't do that utopian goal.
Pat, I still believe it was the right thing to do, the war on terror, the battle against Iraq. But what I can't put up with is one more time, like Vietnam, like Iraq, that all these guys win the wars we send them to fight and die for, and then all of a sudden it gets politicized and they get weak in the knees and they pull out and everything goes back to those people, like it never happened. We can't do that to American sons and daughters.
We didn't think it through. Look at the disaster that exists today in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria, and Libya, and in Yemen, in all of which we're involved. The people that launched the war, David Petraeus said, he had a good line, on the road up to Baghdad, he said, tell me how this thing ends. It is 13 years on May 1, Sean, since George W. Bush said mission accomplished on that aircraft carrier. Is the mission accomplished today in Mosul when you see a mob in the green zone and Joe Biden goes over there and has to get out of there in 10 hours? That's 13 years after mission accomplished.
Let me ask you this. Assess a race, Hillary versus Donald Trump. What advice would you give him? I like the idea of a team of rivals. I think people are so cynical now, putting promises down on paper. It worked for Newt Gingrich, the contract with America. Tell people what you're going to do it, tell them you did it. Good idea, bad idea?
Well, no, what I would do is Trump, first, he's got three aces here. His three aces are the immigration issue, the trade issue, and the foreign policy issue, America first. He's got those issues. I would put together a vice president on there who reinforces that, who can bring him some strength from a state or from a sizable constituency. And then I would go on the offensive after Hillary Rodham Clinton. And I think the decisive states are going to be what you might call the blue-collar states, the Rust Belt states of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, I think in not Illinois, but those states up through there is where this is going to be decided. I think Trump with a top-notch candidate. If he unites the party, which he ought to do, I think he can hold the Republican base.
Who would that candidate be?
You know, I would prefer not to drop out names, as he prefers not to drop out names right now.
And he can beat Hillary. From Pat
strategy.
Buchanan's perspective, he'll win the general election. He can win this.
I think he can win for this reason. Hillary was a better candidate, frankly, in 2008 than she is right now. And when Trump said, you know, she would only have 5% if she weren't a woman, he has this point. The woman, being a woman, is the strongest appeal Hillary Clinton has, because she is not a good candidate. She is not what I used to call a political athlete. She's getting clobbered in state after state by Bernie Sanders, who at least has got a message.
Well said. All right. Thank you, Patrick J. Buchanan. When we come back, Donald